Not sure how many listeners we have on the East and West Coast, which actually we just went over our listeners' viewership.
Shout out to those in China.
Yes, thank you guys. I when we first started doing this 400 was just really 400 people want to listen, but it keeps growing every week. So that's
thank God to Brandon's mom.
Thank you, Mom. Just keep hitting that replay button.
Welcome to Access Granted, a peek inside the real-life stories of physical security professionals. Now, here are your hosts, Justin, John, Ryan, Cody, and Brandon.
All right, so Cody's been with us 3 years. You want to give us a little background on who you are, what hole you crawled out of, and how things are going for you?
Things are going great. Thank you for asking. Let's see. I've known these guys for a while, since First grade, and came upon a time I was looking for employment. And I bring a wide set of skills, one could say.
Let's say personalities.
Sure.
Yes, wide range of personalities.
All of them.
Yes.
All of my personalities have a skill set, and brought those to you guys, begging.
We much appreciated it. It has worked out pretty well in our favor. Thank you.
The question is now, after 3 years, do you consider yourself off duties as a locksmith? It's kind of one of those things that encroach on your personal life. And when people ask what you do, you're not like a woodworker. I'm a locksmith. This is what I do. I'm a locksmith. Does that encroach?
Yes. Encroaching plenty.
I still have a friend waiting for me to come down to Muscatine and put his deadbolts on from 3 years ago. So, yeah, it's...
I point out locks to my wife as we're walking by them, saying, I did that.
Yeah. Oh, there's a form of tism that appears in all locksmiths over the time, where you touch doors or look at locks or look at security cameras, like, oh, look at that. Wow, that's installed wrong.
Well,
Who did that? Why would they do that? Why would they? That door doesn't even shut.
I actually thought about you last night sitting in one of the drive-through restaurants that may or may not serve custard ice cream of sorts, working on their back door. That one was a lovely, warm, hot day in the sun.
I looked at that the other day and was like, man, I hope they don't call me again.
Well, I saw the guy and how he opened it and closed it, and that's what made me think about you. And I'm like, Cody's going to have to come back here and fix that.
Can I have some custard?
What's the topic here today,
But today we're going to talk about electronic locks for your house, your residential type push-button style locks. Cody, you've done more residential things here with us lately. What do you like about them?
Well, there is such a wide range of push-button locks available, and people are definitely excited about them more and more these days as the industry changes. So it is nice that people do get to kind of pick and choose what they want, what works best.
Which ones are you installing nowadays?
Mostly the Schlage ones, Schlage home residential push buttons. We've seen a lot of those. I've seen very few from online retailers. I don't know if we're naming them.
You can. And you can say what you feel. Like, they can get mad at me all they want, but it's an honest installer's product review.
Yeah, some unique shapes and sizes that when you, for instance, put it on the door, it's too thick to sit in between the door and the screen door, whereas a normal knob would be fine for that. So there are some things you got to take into consideration before you choose one for your lock.
Yeah, I mean, I think... as we go, we can say that I think most of us have had either experience of installing them or have them on our houses personally. I've had an electronic deadbolt on my house for almost 10 years now, and it comes in handy. And I think what we should really do and focus on today is giving our honest recommendation on what we like and what we don't like, and what the customer should be looking for when they buy them. So.
Yeah, and when we talk about that, when they start looking for them, what we're looking at is it going to be wireless? Is it going to be Bluetooth? Is it going to be Z-Wave? What technology are we going to use to be able to connect to that device with our mobile phone, I should say, or within our home apps like Apple's Home or Samsung's Hub or something of that sort.
Well, speaking of that, John, what do you have on your house and what is your code?
Okay, so what I have on my house is I actually have the Schlage on my house. I have the B492, I believe it is, and it is a Z-Wave device. So it actually talks to my smart hub that I have in the house, and which allows me to then lock and unlock the door remotely from my mobile phone. It allows me to tie it directly into the security system that I have so that I get notification of the door being locked or unlocked from the app. I can lock and unlock the door from the app, from the security app, and I can change codes or issue temporary codes from that app.
Now, one thing to ask there, what would the cost be for the customer for something like that? Because that's a big thing. People come in and they say, I saw this lock on online. I want you to install it. And then what? And then you get there and something we're going to sell for them to do it online if they haven't purchased it themselves. What's the cost going to be for that?
Well, when we look at that, the cost online varies anywhere from about $250 to $500. On average, we're going to charge around $400 to $500 to install it, set it up, and get it operational for them. There's no monthly cost in that. If you tie it to your security system, there could be a monthly.
Just two smaller kind of things to think about when you're getting one. Not sure how many listeners we have on the East and West Coast, which actually we just went over our listeners' viewership.
Shout out to those in China.
Yes, thank you guys. I when we first started doing this 400 was just really 400 people want to listen, but it keeps growing every week. So that's
thank God to Brandon's mom.
Thank you, Mom. Just keep hitting that replay button. But as far
One
as
day
like,
she'll love you.
well, hey, it's we're working on it. But the pros and cons, basically, if you're in the Midwest, you have 4 seasons. So like Cody was saying earlier, find a deadbolt that not only fits behind your screen door, but have a screen door. Although that's going to keep all the snow and rain and everything out of it. And also electronics outside, they're rated for so much. But when we have a Minnesota, Wisconsin type winter down here.
If it's negative 30 or below, those locks aren't going to function the way you want them to.
So also try to get one with an override key. That way
Always.
in the winter.
We've said it before. We'll say it again on this podcast. If you're putting electronic locks on your house, always have an override key. Any lock that sells it, specifically, it's Yale Home Residential. They sell locks that ADT will put in for you, and they give you a great monthly cost. But if they put them on all the doors, I'm going to have to destroy one to get you back in. Me personally, like I said, I've had a push button lock on my front and garage door for almost 10 years now.
And what is your code?
It is none of your damn business. It's weird. It's an alphanumeric code.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a long one.
Yeah, it is. It's I don't know how many digits that is. Like kids can't handle it. But no, I have an MTech deadbolt. MTech is a higher line finished product for door handles and like cabinet locks. And mine is not a connected deadbolt. It is just a electronic deadbolt. I put a code in. I can put up to 16 of them in. And then the nice thing about mine that I like as an installer is that I throw the bolt. That's normally the type we recommend on the styles where you throw the bolt so you can control that and the battery life lasts longer. Where the one that John was talking about earlier, his actually throws the bolt for him. Now, when you have an electronic deadbolt that throws the bolt for you, you run into some issues. The door has to be square, has to be plumb, has to be true, and there can't be any pressure on that deadbolt. Otherwise, you might run into short battery lives or failures in the opening side. So if you got a really bad door, you might want to look into electronic deadbolt that you can throw yourself.
Yeah, one of the issues we found when it was if the door, where the deadbolt actually goes into the frame, if it's not perfectly free of any not touching the bolt, let's put it that way, then what you do is you get what we call a jam notification, meaning the deadbolt didn't throw all the way.
And that's really inconvenient if you're about 5-10 minutes away and then you finally look at your phone and you realize the door didn't lock. The other ones that Ryan had on his last house some Wi-Fi enabled deadbolts from a company called SecuRAM.
So my deadbolts were actually really nice. They had a fingerprint reader and everything on them, which isn't reliable, but it's still really nice when it does work. The good thing about it was, it was a all-included app and everything inside of the lock. You didn't have to connect it to an alarm system or anything like that to be able to lock it, unlock it, see if the door's shut. All of that comes in just the lock box where you can connect it to your internet, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, and that one allowed you to do a lot of the same features where you could change the code, you could remotely unlock and everything from the app, correct?
Yes, I could assign new codes to somebody that's coming for an hour and it only lasts for an hour, anything like that. So the only thing about that one was that the bolt throws automatically, kind of like John's. I used to prefer the ones Justin was talking about where you have to throw the bolt yourself. But nowadays,
They've come a long way for sure.
Yeah, and it's on my house. I know dang well the door's plumb and lining up correctly.
Which is very rare for a locksmith. Normally, we have the worst doors because we know exactly how hard to push it or pull it to get it to work. And everyone that comes like, why do you tolerate that? You wouldn't tolerate that anywhere else. It's because I'm good at this. It's not that big of a deal for me.
Yeah, you talk about that. I do the electronics and so forth, and I've been installing electronic alarms and cameras and everything else, and I just recently got all that put on the house.
Yeah. Oh, no, Dad's right. It is something newer for him, and I like the features he's had. He's had about just under a year now, and it is working really well. As a recommendation, I really do think that the Schlage is going to be one of your better manufacturers, and then we can go from there. MTech's great, but they don't have any Wi-Fi connectivity right now. They're supposed to be coming out with some Bluetooth stuff.
Cody, do you have any fancy pants locks on your house?
No, Brandon, I've got the Pro Grade brand
It's a great brand.
set of locks that is our standard. So I kind of take that as a way of telling our customers that I trust it on my house.
Almost
And
salesman.
they'd be good to go from
Don't
there.
push the door too hard.
But don't put. And then you
kidding,
show them how
kidding.
to pick into it easily.
He
No.
does that just because the window's unlocked.
And on my house, I have it's not an invitation, but it's kind of a I wish you would type of deal. We don't lock them at night. If you can get down the hallway between the array of guns, bows, throwing knives, and katanas, I guess you win. So, yeah.
Brandon never picked up the locksmithism. He's got that other type of, I've got all kinds of weird knives on me at all times. No, I think
Safety first, always.
we were discussing it this morning, Brandon. I don't even think you have a key to the front door of your house.
Oh, I do, because I did change it a
Oh,
few
do you?
years ago. But I don't ever use it. It's been locked for
We were
years.
moving that refrigerator in, and I was like, "Do you even have a key to this?" He's like, "Somewhere." I was like, I think I know a guy that could get you one.
Yeah, then I did remember. It's like, no, I did change this to match because it never did before. So I did change it, and then I never used it. So it's kind of pointless anyway.
If someone's listening and they're looking to be in the market for electronic locks on their house, two things I want to say. Deadbolt's the best way to go. You're going to always want – deadbolt's going to be the most security on your house you're going to get, and you're going to go for an electronic deadbolt. The electronic levers that are out there, fine for a garage if you don't keep much in there. I don't recommend it as the main security on your house. If you don't have a deadbolt, we can easily drill and install one for you. Cody, Brandon, Ryan, John, and I have installed thousands of deadbolts between us, and we're pretty damn good at it. And then, like I said, we would push forward probably something like the Schlage brand. Any of theirs are fairly good. They've come a long way with the gearing and throwing in the bolt themselves on the higher end, or even the ones that you throw the bolt yourself. And then we can facilitate a lot of different types of electronic deadbolts, and we'll even install them for you if you've purchased them. So if you found one online that you think is going to be the cat's meow, we'll install it for you. But guess what? You're not going to buy it from us, and there's going to be no warranty on the product itself.
And do your research. Just in case, if you're buying from not a name brand or not one of the big stores.
Right. I mean, if you just go out to one of the box stores right now, you'll probably find 10 or 15 different electronic locks. And, there's a few brand names, Schlage, Kwikset, Yale. But then you also have a large array of electronic locks made in China, made in Taiwan, made in Vietnam that just don't have the quality per se of some of the larger brand names do.
Yeah, and as we move forward too, there's some newer guys on the market. There's the Level Lock, the August Lock. Those will retrofit your existing deadbolts. I personally have only run into them a couple of times and installed them. They're not bad. The apps are great, but they're definitely not lock manufacturers. And that's what we're looking for when we're putting security on someone's house. We want somebody who's been in the game for a little bit. And what you find with these website web available electronic deadbolts is you got a lot of people who have app developers or they're a software developer, and they're getting into the lock game because it's a $2 billion or $4 billion industry, and they're trying to get that portion of that money. And I think they have a long way to go when it comes to actually being tough and secure, but there's nothing wrong with them. If you want to choose to do that, I don't personally have them available. I will install them for you.
So Justin, tell me about that time with that guy with that push button. That you were working with.
We had a guy that had a push button lock that he put on his shed. And this was what most people would refer to as what the females would call a she shed. This was this guy's man shed. He had the smallest house, about the size of this room, but the shed was twice the size. And he lived most of his life out of a Sprinter van. And he's like, hey, it's a big emergency. My dog's locked in my shed. I need you to come out. The key override that has this thing isn't working. And I need you to come in and get my dog out. And so I go up there, and it's this really kind of chintzy, and it's probably a bad word to use, but a push button lock. And the key override was in the bottom of the lock. And it was really inconvenient. It was colder and And I had to drill the cylinder out because the key wasn't doing anything. It turned. It just didn't do anything. And then pull the manipulate the lever down to open the door. And I got in there. And this guy was all worried about his dog because he had pounds of marijuana inside the shed, and he was afraid the dog was going to eat it. And it was like this. It was like he had a humidor and tobacco leaves hanging, like he rolled his own cigars there. But he infused the cigars with marijuana. And when I got into it, what he was afraid of, his little chihuahua was going to eat this marijuana and get high as and die. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said the F word.
Was it the Taco Bell dog?
It was basically the Taco Bell dog, but it was a hairy version of that chihuahua. But this guy looked like a bear himself. He was a big guy, and he gets in there and he goes, I said, what do you do with all this? Oh, I'm an over-the-road trucker, and I buy this stuff in Mexico, and I bring it back. And he had it just like in the movies, like wrapped up in saran wrap, and it was cut open, and he was rolling his cigars, and he went back into the house to use the bathroom, and he locked his dog and the marijuana in his shed.
And this is why, guys, you always got to remember, don't leave your drugs out.
Yeah, and don't leave your drugs out. And also, it was in Illinois. It was legal. Okay. He also told me he had glaucoma, which I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if it was
the dog or him.
I think both of them at this point.
I'm not sure. Illinois packages it like that. But
yeah, again, when you're buying your, he didn't follow the rule, get a key override, but he didn't follow the rule of buying someone who's a lock manufacturer before he installed it. So.
Well, with that, guys, like I said, if you have any questions that you want to ask us about residential deadbolts or any other topics, give us a call at 563-322-0123 or stop down at the shop at 1304 West 4th Street in Davenport, Iowa. And we'll be back in a couple weeks to talk with John and Justin about the Paxton 10 access control system.
Thanks for listening to Access Granted, a podcast by J&J Access and Security in association with TAG. For more information about J&J Access and Security, visit jjlocks.com.